Welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you DAX basics, that is data analysis expressions in Power BI. This is the session 7 of our 10-day challenge of Power BI, and I'm using the sample chocolates dataset. You can visit the website and download it. Sample chocolate dataset contains 4 tables. As you can see, we have the calendar table. Here, I've already uploaded my data, so it's here. So the calendar, there is locations, have the products, we have the shipment. So I want us to do some DAX basics here in Power BI. We get to understand how DAX works. Okay, so just a minute. So I want to make sure that I'm going to take 10 to 20 minutes, and I'm going to cover around 15 the most essential functions explained and with examples. So using this data set, the sample chocolate sales data, I want us to build powerful measures using the sum, average, calculate. We're going to create calculated columns with logic, formatting, and date functions. We're going to use functions like the filter, all, and related for context-aware analysis. We shall understand the difference between measures and the columns. So what you're going to learn is you're going to learn 15 plus commonly used DAX functions for reporting, like key performance indicators, that is the KPIs and dashboards. The real dashboard use cases explained, live examples, and also you're going to have a bonus of time intelligence tips using a calendar table. So whether you are new to DAX or building smarter dashboard, this is your complete starter guide. So let's start. So I'm going to start with if you're told to show the revenue, here the revenue is under shipment, the total amount. So of course you're going to use a card visual. Click on it, then it's going to form in this window, the report window. When you click on this, the value is going to display here. So let's give it time to load. So the value that display here by default is going to come with this name. If this is sum, this is the statistical sign for sum. It's going to be the sum of amount, because this is amount and this is the summation for amount. So it's going to be the sum of amount. Do you get it? So what if you want to create your own amount? Instead of using the sum of amount, you want to use something like, let's say, total amount. How are you going to do it? This is where DAX come in now, because when you go to DAX, you can easily edit the headings, okay, the names. You can see it's coming like sum of amount. So I understand that this is the report view. Then here we usually have the table view. Then what follows is usually the model view, where our model appears. Then the last thing that follows here is DAX, and this is the data analysis expression. But normally we don't use this window here. What we do is we write our DAX codes by creating new measures. So for example, if you wanted to get the sum of amount but you want to call it total amount, then it means that you're supposed to interact with DAX. Okay, so here when you come to these fields here, the moment you are hovering around each and every entry here, you have some 3 dots that are appearing. So when you click on the dots, you're going to see things like the new measure, the new column, new quick measure, and everything. So for you to write your DAX code, you're going to click on the new measure. And in this case, we want to create the total amount or the sum of amount, but now in our case, you're going to call it the total amount. It's going to be the same thing, but now presented differently. So when you click on the new measures, this is what appears, and you can delete the word measure and replace with what you want. So me, in this case, I want the total amount. And the total amount, I'm going to use the sum. Okay? So just a minute, I don't know why it's loading. I'm going to use the sum, and when I say the sum I open, what do you want to get? It is the sum of what? The sum of amount in shipment table. Okay, so you're going to say amount. You're going to start here. Don't know what's working. Power BI is not responding, but it's back. So amount. So you can see how it's appear. You don't have to struggle to write everything. When you just start amount, it's going to appear shipment amount. This is how Power BI works. Okay, so you can just put that, and then because you have an opening bracket here, you close. Then you can commit. This green tick means commit. You commit your code. After committing it, it's going to work, and a new measure is going to be formed. Total, called total amount. You can see it's here. Okay, total amount. So a measure is indicated by this a calculator sign. So right now when we add a card visual here, a blank one, then we want to display the total amount, you're going to see it's going to be the same thing, 44.69 million. But now it's not the sum of amount, it's the total amount. Okay, so you have the freedom to edit. Okay, so if you want to edit this maybe to total revenue, you can still just click here. When you click on your measure here, it appears, and you can change this to total revenue, and you don't have to delete this. When you just commit your formula, your DAX formula, everything is going to change automatically. You can see here total revenue, and here has also the change has already reflected. So if you want to get the average revenue, what are you going to do? I'll just come still here in amount, then I'm going to click on the new measure. Then the measure I'm going to call it, instead of total now, I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to call it average revenue. Then we have a capital R. The average revenue in Power BI, average is just given by average. Then you open average of what? Average of amount, but amount is in what table? Shipment. So you just click on this. You have an opening bracket, make sure to close one. Then you commit your formula. So once you commit, you can see average revenue has formed here. So to show what the value is, I'm just going to add an extra card visual. Then in the card visual, I'm going to tick on the average revenue, and the value is 5.65k. Okay, it's like now we decide to have a card visual here. Then when you come to this sum of amount, this one, you can say something like, okay, let me do this. I'm going to tick on sum of amount, but this sum of amount I'm going to edit to average. It's going to give us the same thing. Do you see? The same thing. So this is going to be the average, but still you can say maybe minimum amount if you want. You can have the maximum amount, but all these, I want you to know that all these can still be calculated in Power BI. Okay, so DAX can do anything when it comes to calculations. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is the count. Maybe you want to count, we have shipment. You want to count the shipment. Let's go to the, I need to explain this. Let's go to the table, and I will click on the shipment table. So right now, the shipment, the number of shipment in the shipment table is being recognized by what? By the shipment ID. So if you want to count how many shipments have been done, it means you're going to be going downwards. Like this is the first shipment, second, third, going downwards until you count everything. So what if they want to know the total shipments that were done? You can't be counting one by one. You can do that with DAX. You just come here in the shipment table. You can just come in anything, any entry. Then you right click, and I say you want to create what? A new measure. Then the new measure, this time we can call it count. Okay, so this one, this time the name is going to be shipment count. Okay, the shipment count, I'm going to have count Then this count, what do you want to count? You want to count the number of shipments that occurred. But now I want you to know something here. For you, the way I've been explaining from the table here, if you want to count the shipments that were done, you're going to be counting one the other, and you're going to be counting downwards. So meaning you're counting the rows from the first row to the last to get the total shipments. Okay, so you're going to count rows. There's a count rows formula, and in which table do you want to count? The shipment table. Okay, so here you just say shipment. You'll come to realize that the count rows formula, it acts on the table, not on the specific column or row. That's why here you can only have the table. You can see this is a table without column or row. So when you close this, then you commit your changes. Then I'm going to have a card visual. And in the card visual, I'm going to have my shipment count. So we can 7905 shipments. Okay, these are the total number of shipments. So you count the rows because you're counting from the first row to the last one. What about the counter? How does the counter work? Let's use counter to get maybe the let's just this shipment table seems to be the main. So I'll right click anywhere here in any column. I'll create a new measure. Then this measure I'm going to call it okay. Okay, let it load first. I'm going to call this one. This should be shipment product count. Then I'm going to use counter. Okay, I want to see how counter works. So counter, I want to count product in the products table. So products in the products table, products in the product table is this one. I close these. Then I'm going to run these. I want to see what it brings. Product count. So let me display the card visual. I see what does counter bring to the table. Okay, 22. Okay, so let's go to the tables and see the product table is here. Okay, how many do they exist? Can you count manually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. There are how many? There are 22. So just a minute. So you'll get to ask yourself the question. The other one we use the count rows, while this one we've used counter. So what's the difference between and the counter in Power BI DAX? So the count rows, it counts the number of rows in a table. Okay, from the first row going downwards to the last row in a table. Okay, so or the result of a table expression. So you use count rows if you want to count entire rows, especially in filtered tables or maybe the virtual table. Okay, and one thing to know about it is that it works on tables and not individual columns. It works on tables only. But the counter, it counts non-blank values in a specific column. So for example, if you are dealing with data that has blank spaces, but you are only interested to count those that are not blank, you're going to use counter. So you use it when you want to count how many non-empty values exist in a column. Okay, that's the difference. Let's proceed. There's distinct count. There's distinct count. What is distinct count? Let's come here and create a new measure. This one, let's count what? Distinct, of course, is unique. It's going to be counting unique. We can say distinct product. Like it's not going to repeat, or it's going only to count the unique ones. Okay, so distinct count, then product stable product. This time it's not going to be 22. I guess right. Let me see the result now. Distinct count. So card visual here. Then distinct count 22. Why? Let's go back to our table. Okay, they're not repeating. They're not repeating. You can see here, no repetition. Okay, so that's why they are 22. If they were repeating, let's see if there's something repeating here. Location, nothing is repeating, so it counts unique. Okay, if let's say we had 22 products in a row, but maybe we have it repeating several times, we could not be having a value of 22. We could be having a value like maybe 10, depending on how many times a certain value has repeated. I talked about maximum and minimum, but I want to show, let's go to amount. I want to create a new measure here. Then, or I could go to boxes maybe, but let me go to amount. I want to count the maximum amount. So I create a new measure. Okay, let's call it maximum amount. So it's gonna be max. It's gonna be max. Then I open. Amount is in the amount should be shipment amount. So I want to see the maximum amount. Is it form already? No, it. So let me just wait for it to come. Maximum amount is there. So just a card visual. Then I'll come and tick on it's here, maximum amount. So the maximum amount is 33.48k. What about the minimum amount? So if you want to get the minimum amount, you're not supposed to struggle. I'll just click on this. I'm going to copy everything here. Control copy. Then here and create a new measure here. New measure. Then that measure I'm going to call it the minimum amount. In fact, I've copied my code, so I'll just paste it. Okay, don't know why it's taking time to load now. Okay, it's here. So I'll delete everything. I'll paste that and I'll change minimum amount. Then change also the code to min. Then I'll commit. So minimum amount, I'll create a card visual here. Then I'll click on minimum amount 2.25. That's the minimum amount. Okay, so another one, I want to show you how to use the if. If formula is logical. If is logical, okay? So let's say we want to say let's say what if amount is not going to work. Yeah, amount will work. Let's see. Let's go back to our table. Shipment. So I want to see how amount is. You can see 1372, 3411. So I want to say anything above 5,000 is high. Otherwise, it's a low. How do you do that? I'll come here. I'm gonna create a new measure. New measure. Then this one, I'm going to say something like amount category low category. So don't know why you keeping loading every time you Power BI. What's up? So here I'll start by if, open the bracket, if what? If shipment amount, so amount, that should bring for me shipment amount. Let's see. No, it's not bringing shipment amount. It's just bringing the calculated fees only. Why? Do you have quantity? Let's try boxes. Then why is it bringing the calculated only, calculated field? See, it's only bringing the calculated fields. Okay, let me pick this one. This is what I wanted. It's not going to show where I want, but this is what I wanted to show you guys. So if shipment amount is greater than 5,000, assign a high. Otherwise, in quotes, just assign a no. Then I take this. So amount category. It's here. I'll form a card visual. Of course, it's going to bring a high amount category. See, high because of course it's a high 5,000. But that is how if works. I'll check what's the issue with my data. The next thing that I can show you guys here is maybe the order year. Okay, you can extract the have the year here. We have date. Working with dates in Power BI DAX. Then you also have the common, which is the switch function. Then you have related. Okay, but maybe I can show you how to work with that. So I can have something like, let me come here. Then I'm going to create a measure. I'll call it order year. This order year, I'm going to do what I'm going to say here. Then I take have calendar. Do I have calendar? Yo, this was called what? Calendar. It's not bringing why. Should be working with dates here. Why should I do this? By the way, no. This one is not going to work. Let me just see what's bringing, because this is crazy. Order here. Okay. 1900. You see, this is crazy. This is a crazy one. But for the assignment, you can check how to use the switch function and the format function. But these ones are the main things, like the if, interacting with if, average sum, calculate is so common. You can calculate the percentage. Let's do calculate as the last one. Let's come here to amount and get a see how you can use calculate. So here I can call it revenue percentage. Okay. Revenue percentage is going to be given by what? By amount, or you see, it's going to be given by the sum of amount over. Okay, no, we started with calculate because I was telling you I'm going to show you how to use calculate. So if you say calculate, you can't. Okay, we want to see amount per box. Okay, we have boxes and we have amount. So you say calculate, and then you're going to take shipment amount total revenue, comma, boxes. Do you have boxes somewhere? Okay, let me remove this. Calculate, open the bracket, get the of amount, ship amount, this one, divide by, so you don't put divide because you're using calculate, divide by boxes. Okay, shipment boxes. Okay, by the sum of shipment amount, sum of shipment. Then I close this, so it's not going to be percentage of, this one is going to be amount per box. So if you want to get the amount per box, of course you're going to take the total shipment amount over the number of boxes, that is the sum of shipment boxes. Okay, that's how it's going to be. 1 2, so I'm supposed to close one bracket here. What's happening? What's wrong? Shipment boxes. Where is the issue coming from? Okay, this one I'll close. Then I open, I see shipment boxes. Then I close. Now is it working? Yeah, it's working now. Then I close another bracket now. Amount per box, okay? So when you take this, it's going to be amount. It's having an issue. You can see here. It's having an issue. The true false does not specify a column. Issue shows the table. To calculate sum. Okay. Some shipment boxes, or I can say sum of we have geo, so location geo, this is what it's asking for, is equals to let's see our geography, let's see our data. Okay, geography, it's here. Locations, it's here. India, region APAC. So come back here, geo, click on here, it will come back, is equals to India. Then too many brackets close, remove them. What's happening here? This sum is not supposed to be here because they're just saying location G is equals to India, no extra bracket. Then it's okay now. Supposed to change because this is the sum of amount of India. Do you get it? Oh, it has worked, guys. This one should be amount of India because it's so this is how calculate works. So I'll run it again. Wrong spell. We'll have to run it again. So show let me display amount of India. Okay, let's confirm if this is the amount of India. It's very easy. If you want to confirm, you use a table. I'm just going to take a table like this, and in this table I'll put amount and geo. So let's confirm all of us. So you can see India is 10.39. Yeah, it's true. So it's true. Can see? So that has worked. So you can see that's how calculate works. Okay. If you're supposed to get amount per box, I think, let me finish with that. If you're supposed to get amount per box, you wouldn't have gone to all that long direction. What you can do, I want to give you guys a shortcut. Okay, let me give you a shortcut. Amount per box, I must get that one before I finish. So this one, you just right click, then create a new measure, amount. Okay, there's a formula I was forgetting. Amount per box. Here, you're going to use divide. Divide, open the bracket. What do you want to divide? Amount. Divide sum of what? Shipment amount with sum of shipment boxes. Close the bracket. Independent brackets. Close again. What's up? Let me see the error that's coming. Okay. Maximum argument count for this function is 1. What if I remove sum here? Then here I remove it. Remove that. This one, I don't know the issue, but it's supposed to work. Let me see. Let me check cleanly. I think remove the bracket. You can see now it's okay. Then let me check this one. You can see again an error has come. Why? Because of this. This one was supposed to be here. This bracket, remove it. Amount. A single value for a column amount in table shipment cannot be. This can help. There's an issue with the data, but you can try this. This is what is supposed to work. Try it and see, because divide, the syntax for divide is usually numerator comma denominator, and this is our numerator comma denominator. We've not added any extra bracket. That's okay, but that's all, guys. Thank you for watching. You can check on the divide function how it works. Thank you and goodbye.